I didn't have an ecological message. I knew I was dealing with elements that basically match it, but that was never what I was pushing. And hopefully it doesn't, because the last thing I want to do is be preached to when I watch a movie. So I didn't mind that I was touching the similar elements, because it's not a bad thing to necessarily be associated with. But it was all to basically push the programming. It was all basically to say, look, at everything else is going to benefit if you pay attention to relationships. And my specific premise was irrational love defeats life's programming. And I literally had two programmed characters that were fighting to figure out what life, the point of it was, which was love, and discovering what that meant. And it took acts of just an irrational acts of love to do that. And I thought if I could make the background, the sci-fi aspect of it and the future, amplify that, because it's not that bad of a metaphor for real life. We all have our habits, our routines, our sort of programmed things that we fall into to distract ourselves, basically, from really living. And they're not necessarily bad or evil in and of themselves. It's just that we can use that as a crutch to fill up our day and just avoid the act of having relationships and contacting one another. We see it every day. We can all be in the same room and all be in our own little world. And it's easier and easier to do it. And so I thought that was a perfect, fictional choice to push for humanity, just to amplify what I was trying to do with the love story. So the reason I even had a plant, to be honest, was I just felt I needed a logical reason for, almost like the dove on Noah's Ark. I needed a sign for why it's okay to come back, and I needed something for Wally. I just loved the idea. I actually came up with this without understanding the whole story at the point of Wally finding something real. I mean, here he is, he's man-made himself, he's surrounded by man-made stuff, yet he has more of a desire to live than anything else in the universe that's actually living. So I felt like he was this man-made thing with something real inside him, and here he finds this real thing growing out of the ground that's surrounded by nothing but man-made material. And I just felt like he was meeting himself, so I ran with that without ever knowing where exactly I was going at first.